should you buy Maze of the Master? The new Maze set introduces a brand new TCG exclusive archetype that revolves around the anime favorite Odeon and his Temple of the Kings. This TCG exclusive archetype is looking really interesting, but besides that, a lot of really powerful cards, new support for old themes, and valuable reprints. I got some Tachyon cards, Kaiba's XYZ monsters, Trick Stars, and some very nice staples for your meta decks. If you do end up deciding you want to buy Maze of the Master, head over to tierzerogames.com/galzo5, use my code to get 5% off your entire purchase. But first, let's dive in to Maze of the Master and the question, should you buy it? The first TCG exclusive archetype of the set, and the only one, and this is really cool that they started doing this with Maze. We had the Flame Swordsman cards, before that we had the Gate Guardian cards, and now we have Temple of the Kings support. Temple of the Kings is a really old card that was used in the anime by Odeon and allowed you to activate traps the turn they are set. It eventually got an errata to make that once per turn, but that card was really strong. And in Maze of the Master, we are getting some support to that deck with brand new cards that mention Temple of the Kings. We have the strongest one of them all, the main starter, the Man with the Mark. It's a level 4 Earth spellcaster that on summon can take a Temple of the Kings or a spell and trap that mentions it from the deck and either add it to your hand or send it to the graveyard. What you would usually do with it is actually get Treasure of the Kings, which is a new field spell card that says when activated you can set an Apophis trap card from your deck. It becomes Temple of the Kings while on the field, and once per turn if you have 2 or more set cards on your field or a trap in your grave, you can add a monster that mentions Temple of the Kings. And of course, it wouldn't be Odeon support without the Mystical Beast Circuit, with the new Retrain Merciless Scorpion of Circuit, which you will usually add by this effect. It can summon itself by banishing a level 10 or higher monster from the deck, which is kind of crazy. And of course, once per turn, it adds a Temple of the Kings or a spell that mentions it from deck to hand. You can then turn these two into a Silhouette Rabbit, set another Apophis trap from the deck, and basically get around 3, 4, even 5 interruptions just by using those trap cards. Apophis, the Swamp Deity, which released a while ago, and of course cards like Azaroon are just really strong within the context of this deck. And with Silhouette Rabbit and the Merciless Scorpion Circuit that additionally pops a card, you can get a lot of interruptions. This is going to be really cool, and maybe it will even get some further support down the line that makes it even better. Tachyon cards are getting new support. Of course, Galaxy, one of the most fan-favorite archetypes in the game, is getting some valuable cards, and starting off, of course, with the one and only, the most expensive card in the set, the most important card, the most meta-defining card. It's 7th Tachyon. It's a normal spell that says, reveal one number Xyz monster in your extra deck that has a number between 101 and 107 in its name. Then you add a monster from your deck to your hand with the same type or attribute as that monster, with the same level as that monster's rank. Then place one card from your hand at the top of your deck, and also it locks you into Xyz monsters for the rest of this turn after this card resolves. Now, this seems rather unassuming, but this has a lot of potential. This is, of course, seeing the most amount of play in Ryzeal in the OCG today. Now, why is it so good? For example, you take number 104, Masquerade, reveal it. It's a rank 4 light monster, which means you can add a level 4 light monster from your deck. Any level 4 light monster from your deck. Ice Ryzeal? X Ryzeal? But this can go even further. For example, Giant Hand can add Primite Ether Barrel Dragon, which is really good. And of course, Archfiend Seraph. It's a level 5 light fairy. You know any monster that matches that description? Yes, Artifact Lancia. It's searchable now. So yeah, this card is going to be great, but it's not the only great Galaxy card in this set. Galaxy Eyes Tachyon Primal, it's a level 8 light dragon, of course. You can special summon it from your hand as a quick effect if a Dragon Xyz monster is on the field, and you can actually special summon it to either field. So it's another free extender. If it is normal special summon, you can add a Tachyon spell trap from your hand. So of course this can add 7th Tachyon to get another extender, but this can also add Tachyon Transmigration, which is a really powerful card that negates every single effect in the chain before it, as long as it's chain 2 or higher. Crazy cards. And don't forget about the Divine Golden Shadow Dragon Dragluxion. It's a rank 8 light dragon monster that requires 2 level 8s. If it is special summoned from the extra deck, you can add a Galaxy or Tachyon card from deck to hand, which is of course the same as Tachyon Primal, but even a little bit better because it adds Galaxy cards. You can detach 2 from this card and special summon from your extra deck another rank 8 Xyz Dragon monster with 3000 attack. Using this card you control as material, then you can attach a Galaxy monster from the extra deck to it. So yeah, Cypher Dragons, Galaxy Dragons, they're all going crazy about this card, and this is going to be playable. Now, a couple new Legacy support archetypes. We have, of course, Kaiba's XYZ Dragon Cannon Union family rejoicing once again in Maze of the Master. This is probably not going to make the deck super competitive, but it's getting new support and new Union support, and it's obviously pretty great for Kaiba fans. Same goes for Trickstar, one of the most powerful decks in history with the most amazing card, Trickstar Reincarnation, that did so much damage. It's getting new support. Some people have already been playing with the support over in Master Duel because it's been out for a while, but again, nothing to write home about. And we got a few standalone cards that are really interesting. First of all, my personal favorite, the Duke of Demise. It's a level 6 Dark Fiend fusion monster. Yay, level 6 fusion monsters, fiends, yeah, DDDs, yeah, okay. It requires 2 fiends and or zombies, so it's another new super poly targets for your friend who plays Fiendsmith. Once per turn during the standby phase, pay 500 or destroy this card. It cannot be destroyed by battle, and most importantly, once per turn during your main phase, you can immediately after this card resolves, normal summon 1 monster. Yes, it's an additional normal, but not only that, you can banish it from the graveyard, target a level 4 or higher zombie or fiend monster in the grave, and put it back to your hand, which is crazy, especially in Chimera. You can make this in Chimera, get another normal summon, summon another Mirror Sword Knight or Gazelle, whichever one you haven't summoned, and this is so good because usually you just die to an interruption in your normal summon. But not only that, if you can get to, Berthamat fusion, dump any fiend from grave, it can actually be Fiendsmith Engraver, and then Duke of Demise can banish itself to add the Engraver back to your hand to start off your Fiendsmith combo. Super strong. Another card that I think is a sleeper, but we'll see what happens with it, it's Singularity Fiend. It's level 1 Dark Fiend monster that says, when your opponent special summons a monster or monsters except during the damage step, you can discard this card and 1 spell card destroy that monster. Pretty good. It's a pop on turn 0 from the hand. It's obviously once per turn, so it's 1 singular pop, and of course probably Ghost Ogre can deal with some of these monsters, but this has the potential of being really good in maybe even runic decks. Who knows? We got Ancient Gear statue. If you're an Ancient Gear fan, this card is the Ancient Gear Ecclesia. It's level 2 Earth Machine that says if your opponent controls more monsters than you can special summon this card from your hand, and you contribute this card as cost to special summon 1 Ancient Gear Golem from hand or deck, or 1 monster that mentions it, except Ancient Gear statue, ignoring its summoning condition. This card is really solid for Ancient Gear fans, and with the recent support they got in Legacy of Destruction, this could be really good. And lastly, we have some cool reprints. First of all, Gladiator Beast, we got support in Supreme Darkness, and Gladiator Beast Retiari, it was a pretty expensive card up until now. It's getting a reprint with a lot of other Gladiator Beasts. These are very old cards that just became relevant again, so yeah, makes sense to reprint them here. Of course, Mulcharmy Perulia, faster than expected probably. This card was initially released in Infinite Forbidden and has been seeing a lot of play. It's also very expensive, hard to get, and of course Konami really rushes to reprint these cards. Another Mulcharmy Fualos is coming in the next set, Quarter Century Stampede, and yeah, they want to make these cards as accessible as possible, which is great. We got, of course, Atlantean Heavy Infantry, which is like a $10 common for some reason. This card is basically a one-of in Mermail deck, and Mermail is extremely popular right now. A lot of their cards are older cards because this is a very old archetype, and yeah, this is a really good one. And lastly, Crystron Quario Gandrax, the big 9 synchro monster that banishes like 3 cards on the field. It's an ultra rare with 1 print. It's basically climbed to like $40, and hey, it's getting a rare reprint, which is great. And this has been Maze of the Master, everything you need to know. Should you buy it? Should you not? Leave it down in the comments below. This is a very interesting set. Of course, don't forget, if you do want to pick it up, make sure to head over to tierzerogame.com/galzo5. Use my code for 5% off your entire order. And thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.